What is going on, Sports Outlet Show family? Welcome back to another Wednesday night here on the Sports Outlet Show. I'm your host, Joe Wagner, alongside my host, Brent Allegra and Braden Wilkins. Gentlemen, a couple things have happened, not necessarily just in the last 2 weeks since we last were on YouTube Live, but in the past 24 to 48 hours. My head is scrambling, my brain hurts. It's sports equinox on steroids. Gentlemen, how are we feeling, and what are we excited about tonight?
Yeah, it's that time of the year where you research a player and you're like, oh, he's on that team, because there's just constant movement happening right now with NFL free agency. Like to say that all of our teams got better. Hopefully, that's the goal of free agency. But I think you can make the case that some of these teams got worse. But we'll get into all that. But definitely an exciting time of the year, especially for miserable NFL teams like the Giants.
It's like a free candy day.
Yeah.
I love it. Braden, a couple of Eagles players going left, right, and center. We'll talk about it here a little bit later. But everybody, please be wary. I'm in the new house now, so if the internet craps out, Brent said he's going to take over the podcast, take my 401k. All the money that we have invested in here, he's going to take it to Riverwind. So, Brent, go on to you.
And I'll be announcing Joe's social security number as well. So please be tuned for that as well.
Okay, I will let you know that there is a number in there somewhere. The rest is up to you. That's the only hint you get.
Got him.
Now, fellas, one thing I want you to understand is what's one thing that podcasts are really known for? It's going off script. Well, yes, talking. Good answer. It's called going off script. You didn't think you were going to get away without Joe's question of the day, did you? It might not be on the slip, but it's up here tonight in graphic form. Now, I'm scrolling Twitter as one does, checking out sports media, sports news, all the knowledge and whatnot. And they put these playoffs into two groups. And they said you can only pick one to live for the rest of your life. You can't watch the others. You can only solely watch Group A or Group B. Let me go through the options, and I'm interested what you fellas think. In Group A, you have the Masters in Augusta. You have the MLB postseason, one of Brent's favorite national championship runs with the Nationals, right? Huge one there. You have the college football playoff, ever evolving. The chance that the Hokies once get there and make the dream. And then you have the Stanley Cup playoffs, one of my personal favorites in the NHL. On the right side of the bracket, you have the NFL playoffs, teams vying for their first Super Bowl. You have March Madness, debatably the greatest playoff event there is. You have the NBA playoffs. Yeah, sure, whatever. And then every 4 years, you get the FIFA World Cup. Now, noticing, I think we're all in agreement March Madness may be the greatest. But you're talking throwing the NBA in there and a 4-year event versus on the left, you got the Masters, ever-changing college football. Guys, are we torn? Is this a split decision, or are we a slam dunk pick here on A or B? Interested to hear from the fellas.
Yeah, this is honestly pretty tough. Obviously, that's why it's the question of the day. You wouldn't give us an easy one, but I'm with you, Joe. Like, I watch every single one of these except for the NBA playoffs. But with that being said, probably two of my favorite sports are on that side with NFL and college basketball. Maybe college football edges out college basketball, but the postseason tournament of college basketball is very much better, which is hard to argue. As much as it pains me, I got to go with B, even though, like you said, we have the once every 4 years in the FIFA World Cup, which is awesome, but it's only once every 4 years, and the NBA, which I really don't watch at all. But I cannot give up NFL playoffs and March Madness. So I'm going to go with B.
All right.
I'm with you, Brent. Pretty much the exact same reasoning. NFL and March Madness, I'm definitely locked in every single year. FIFA World Cup is special when it comes. So very excited for that in the coming months. But like you guys said, it's the NBA. I'm not too locked in on the NBA, despite Bam Adebayo putting up 83 points last night. So if you switch out the NBA with anything there on the left, literally any one of those events, it's B. It's a slam dunk. But I'm still going to go with B. I will be missing all of the events. I'm over on A though.
Guys, I'm on the opposition. I look at this one and I think to myself, March Madness is the one I'll miss the most. It's the easiest slam dunk choice. I can't give up watching college football. I cannot sit here as a Virginia Tech Hokie fan and say that I did not watch us if we ever win a national championship in football. That would tear me to pieces. I've seen the Panthers play in the Super Bowl, and the Pittsburgh Penguins being my favorite pro team, right? In the Stanley Cup playoffs, that's a slam dunk for me too. And then you got to love Augusta. It's a perfect nap time. And I got to watch Paul Skeens if he ever makes it on the Pirates mound too. Maybe a lot of recency bias there for sure, as well as futuristic outpoints. But, FIFA every 4 years, I'm not even a big soccer guy, but I watch international. I'll never watch the NBA playoffs. Didn't even watch Game 7 of the NBA Finals last year. March Madness, sucker punch. NFL playoff, sucker punch. But when you equate the two, it's 3/4 on the left for me.
Also, I mean, you'd lose a big part of your job if you got rid of A as well. So I feel like you kind of have to pick that.
That is true. Let's say that's the answer if anybody disagrees with me. But I thought you guys would like that question of the day, so thought I'd throw it in there as I saw it scrolling on Twitter today. But let's talk about why we're really here. We have a plethora of things today we're going to go over. Free agent frenzy. If you guys did not watch the Pat McAfee show or something similar, or the highlights when they had Adam Schefter in the Thunderdome, it was hilarious because they would just, Dan Orlovsky and Peter Schaefer would just be talking about something, and 30 seconds later, you just hear Pat and AJ Hawk start screaming because Shefty bomb just happened with another tweet and another tweet. And it felt like 30 seconds after, Braden, Brent, myself were blowing each other's phones up. So my iPhone battery died quickly when free agency kicked off on Monday. But let's talk about a couple of these, including number one. Brent, take away a little bit of the topics here with Maxx Crosby definitely highlighting free agency day number one.
Yeah. This one kind of dropped last night. Well, it wasn't supposed to drop last night, but it did. Maxx Crosby, his tenure with the Ravens comes to an end. I think it was a glorious 4 or 5 days or something. I think I sent you guys the highlight reel on Twitter, so it was pretty spectacular. It was just him videoing M&T Bank Stadium, so pretty spectacular Ravens highlights from Maxx Crosby. But I'll be real with you guys, like the fact that they failed this man on a physical, knowing that he had a knee injury, he was literally shut down at the end of the season because of it, is absurd. It is like one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard. This kind of thing has happened in the past, but not with a player of this pedigree and this big of a trade. And in fact, the other instance of this that I can think of off the top of my head was with the Ravens as well, with Ryan Grant in 2018. Obviously not a huge player, so you're not going to make much of a stink about that. But the deal was originally for 2 first-round picks. The Raiders were receiving the Ravens 2 first-rounders. Obviously, the Ravens receiving Maxx Crosby. But everything about this seemed really shady, especially when we get to the next free agent signing, which was announced later today. But I can't come to terms with the fact that this was because of the injury. I really think this was buyer's remorse. It's one of the most absurd things I've ever seen in sports, to be honest with you. And I feel bad for the Raiders because they were planning on not having Maxx Crosby on the books. Obviously, that's a huge, huge salary to take back on. And that might have changed the way that they did free agency this year. So, the Raiders got a really good pass rusher last night. So their team got better.
Hey, I don't know if he was worth 2 first-round picks, though, Brent, that they had to give up for him. But I'm glad you talked about the implications, right? And there were a couple things we talked about. Obviously, the signings as of 4 o'clock went through today. So kids always sign contracts before you go to social media and say that something's done. Especially these NIL deals that we're starting with these college football players. I could see something like this happening. But Brent, you mentioned it, like the Raiders having to take on this contract if they can't get anybody else to bite. And they had a huge signing day. We'll talk about a lot of them. Like they got Tyler Linderbaum, Nakobe Dean, Quay Walker. We'll talk about some of those significant signings. That's a ton of money that they just spent on everybody else. That they don't have the ability to get Maxx Crosby back with a significant deal like that. I thought the Cowboys could be a late player at the end here with, reversing the deal with Rashawn Gary, maybe Jerry Jones dealing in bad faith. But all of that has been locked up recently. And this also screws over every other NFL team, all other 31 or 30 that were uninvolved, right? Of people, we'll talk about the Carolina Panthers, we'll talk about the Ravens, and a bunch of other people that signed edge rushers or just stupid amount of contracts that we'll talk through. But all that money is now gone with the salary cap because the NFL actually knows how to do a salary cap and do it efficiently, right? So all these other teams are now allocated. And on top of this, a reeling Raiders team just lost 2 first-round picks in a full rebuild. This is shady. Eric DaCosta, that's terrible. I'm never dealing, if I'm a GM of any of the 31 teams, I'm never picking up the phone for Eric DaCosta or the Baltimore Ravens ever again. That's bullcrap. It's bad for the league. It looks terrible. And then you do what you did. We'll talk in the next point today, right? That just shows that conversation was happening when Maxx Crosby was in your building. So instant karma, still yet to be served, but hopefully taking John Harbaugh away and a couple other key Ravens as well. We'll give them justice, but this is crap. This is terrible on the NFL. It looks awful on Eric DaCosta. If you deal in bad faith, you have no room to trade in the NFL anymore. So GMs, watch your back.
And it kind of screws over the Raiders in a way that we haven't really talked about either. Even if they can get rid of Maxx Crosby again and get somebody to take on that contract, they're not getting 2 first-round picks for him. That deal is never coming back to their table. They're going to have to take a much smaller package for him if they want to get him off the roster.
Yep. And everybody knows their hands are tied. They know that Crosby doesn't want to be there. So at the worst, he's going to sit out next year, right? Because he doesn't want to play in Vegas. He's made that audibly known that he doesn't want to come back to the Raiders. And nobody, A, has the money to pay that contract now. So the Raiders may have to pick up part of it. And then B, they're not getting 2 first-rounders because nobody's going to offer that. But Brent, you said it best. It's buyer's remorse, and it's disgusting.
Yeah, crazy stuff, man. I'm interested in your guys' thoughts on the next point we have here.
Oh, this one? This one here, Trey Hendrickson, he's pretty good. Same division. Signs a 4-year, $120 million deal with, Baltimore Ravens. You can't tell me this was not negotiated before Crosby deal was taken off the table. You can't tell me it wasn't.
Yeah, and the Ravens got to watch, because they made the trade for Crosby before free agency started. They got to watch Trey Hendrickson sit there for 2 days and not get a deal done, and then they decide they want to opt out that deal when he's still sitting there and the price is dropping.
Yeah, his value decreased. It decreased more than what he thought he was going to get at least. And I really think what it came down to was the Ravens saw that and they were like, wow, we could get Trey Hendrickson on our books probably for less money. I don't know Maxx Crosby's current contract off the top of my head. Probably for less money, and you get to keep your 2 first-round picks. That's what I think it came down to.
Oh, we lost him. See, he's so angry about the fact that this trade happened, Braden, right? He had to leave the podcast because we're family friendly, right? So he's just livid. He's just Brent, thank you for taking a cool down. I appreciate it.
After I gathered my thoughts, I think the Ravens made a great move here. Moving on to Trey Hendrickson, I liked it. That's all I got to say about it.
On the positive and flip side of things, right? Joe Burrow's life just became even crazier. I know Crosby was supposed to be here, but Bro needs an O-line quickly in Cincinnati because Myles Garrett, Trey Hendrickson, and now TJ Watt are all coming after him next fall. So that's scary.
Yep.
We'll run through these a little. Brayden, you want to do me the honor? You want to do me the honor of saying this next?
Sure.
Deal?
Yeah, I'll talk about it.
Thanks. Let's do it.
I get to hype up Joe's Panthers as they signed Jalen Phillips, one of their 2 amazing defensive signings. It's the highest deal of free agency so far, 4 years, $140 million. They found him, they wanted him, they got him. That's a big price tag, and he deserves it. He's an absolute beast. When he came to Philly last year, he was so impactful on that defense, full of stars. So he's going to be one of the featured guys in Carolina, and he's going to make a huge impact on a team that is trending upwards.
Yeah, the Panthers are a team that years and years and years have sat back in free agency and done absolutely nothing besides sign the Rico Dowdles of the world, right? So not only do you go and make one big splash with Jalen Phillips, is this an overpay? Maybe. I can say that it could be. If he stays healthy and gets 12 and a half sacks a year, no, it wouldn't be at that point. But obviously injury concerns with Phillips. He's younger. He's quicker, though. That's why I think Dan Morgan wanted this guy instead of Trey Hendrickson, instead of Maxx Crosby. Both of them are risks with their age and injury past, right? But Jalen Phillips, I'm pumped that not just this signing, but you come back on the same day at 9:00 at night and you pick up Devin Lloyd on a 3-year, $45 million, which is a steal in my opinion. That was a crazy contract dollar amount for the Pro Bowler of the Jaguars last year. But it means that
all pro.
Thank you.
Second team.
Even better. Even, the Pro Bowl doesn't even matter. So I appreciate you jumping in there, Brent. But pairing them with Derek Brown and then J.C. Horn and Trayvon Moehrig in the secondary, like that defense looks nasty on paper now. And that's why the Panthers lost games year after year after year, is because their defense has been horrific. So I'm excited to get back to the Luke Kuechly brand of football. Devin Lloyd is going to be the commander-in-chief out there. Dave Canales trusts him. Elijah Evero trusts him. And this is his last year if this defense sucks, for sure. He has every weapon capable now. I was pumped with everything the Panthers did. We spent a lot of money. Now we know what we're going for the draft, and it's not any of the 2 question marks we had, which was edge and linebacker. So I'm pumped. So Braden, thanks for the sacrifice.
Yeah, I think the Panthers were huge winners of free agency, and I was telling you guys, Devin Lloyd was literally my favorite signing of all of free agency. That was day 1. It's day 3 now. It's still my favorite signing. The fact that you guys were able to get, like I said, a second team All-Pro, the best linebacker on the market at $15 million per year is absurd. The Giants, I'll go ahead and mention this one now because it relates. The Giants signed Tremaine Edmonds, who is also a great linebacker as well. Not as good as Devin Lloyd, not even close, honestly. Is a former Hokie, so I did love that. But we signed him for $12 million per season. Personally, as a Giants fan, I would have loved to spend the extra $3 million or even extra $4 million per year to get a guy like Devin Lloyd on my team who can make a difference all over the field. Perfect signing for the Panthers. I'm jealous, Joe. I'm jealous.
Hey, man, things are on the up and up, and, we got some offensive pieces to fill in the draft, especially at the O-line now, but you can't help but smile. Brent, I know we made the playoffs last year, but I still put myself a little there with you and the Giants. The offseason draft day, 2 best days of the year for us. I'm still claiming it till we go back to back, and then I'll leave your company.
All right.
I'll leave your company. Braden, tell me about the big boy down in Las Vegas, probably protecting Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah. We saw with the Raiders that offensive line has been a huge problem for them for years. And they get one of, if not the best offensive linemen available in this free agency class. Tyler Linderbaum has been great for the Ravens. And so the Raiders get a little bit of a get back there for what happened with Maxx Crosby, even though this happened first. But I think it's a great signing, and it's a great start for them for protecting Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah, the highest paid center in the league. He's making $27 million per year, which is $9 million more than the second highest center, Creed Humphrey. So that's a 50% increase in the market value for centers, which is ginormous. I don't think a lot of other teams were willing to go there. I know the Giants were in on Linderbaum. The Ravens wanted to bring him back. The Commanders were in on it. But none of these teams were willing to go to the level that the Raiders went to. And, they sought him as one of the best free agents out there. He might have been the best free agent out there, excluding all the trades and everything. definitely the best center in the NFL, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
So, they saw him as a target and they locked him down. So props to the Raiders for that.
No, they beefed up that O-line, and they had the worst O-line in the NFL last season. It was horrific and terrible. And if you want that shiny new quarterback, I know he's rough and tough in Hoosier Nation, expecting to be number one here in the next month or so. But you got to have a great center, and Linderbaum's a huge signing for them. Talking about huge signings and big deals, Alec Pierce signing a 4-year, $116 million deal to stay with the Indianapolis Colts. Pierce had a breakout season. He was a great fantasy football tactic. He was a big deep threat for Danny Dimes all season long, having Pittman and Warren using him as a wide receiver too. And a wide receiver too is making more than Amon-Ra St. Brown. Guys, thoughts and opinions?
Yeah, we talked about, Devin Lloyd was my favorite contract. This might have been one of my least favorites, if not my overall least favorite. I know that Alec Pierce expanded his route tree at the end of last year. I know he was a huge weapon for the Colts. That doesn't mean he should earn 9th highest receiver in the league money. He's not a wide receiver one. He's not even a low end wide receiver one. I think he should really come around in the 40s range, if I'm being honest. Low 30s, high 40s, if I'm being honest with you. But that's just how it is when these guys come due. Teams overpay, and I think the Colts did. I think this contract is a little too rich for my blood.
It almost felt like a little bit. Braden, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think that I agreed with that fully. But I think they showed how much they value this guy as a wide receiver one when they traded away Michael Pittman. It was a little bit confusing if you were going to be your 1A and 1B, but they said Alec Pierce is our guy. We're sending Michael Pittman off to Pittsburgh, and Alex Pierce is going to be our number one.
Yeah, that was the kind of feeling I got, Braden, is they almost hit the panic. Whether it's a panic or a confident button, they hit it, right, with Alec Pierce. With Pittman leaving and not having a sure wide receiver number one there. They haven't had one since T.Y. Hilton and the Reggie Wayne days, right? Intriguing considering this big of a contract. It was his first 1,000-yard season, didn't even eclipse 50 receptions, but he is that big play guy, having 6 touchdowns. But, you look at his past 4 years of experience. I know there's been an injury bug here and there, but it really hasn't been impressive besides last year having a breakout. So we'll see if money talks for Alec Pierce. But Daniel Jones, throw him the ball 100 times to make this contract worth it. Braden, tell me about the guy that left.
Yeah, Mike Evans. This felt weird when it first happened. It still feels weird. He's going to San Francisco. He's going from bay to bay. It's 3 years, $60 million. I don't know. I just can't get behind it. He's so old. He's been so injured. He's one of the most injury-prone wide receivers in the league the past couple of years, going to one of the most injury-prone teams in the league the past couple of years. He's not even going to be wearing his number 13 because that's Brock Purdy. I wish he would have just finished his career with the Bucs, if I'm being honest. I don't know how much work he's actually going to get there, but I hope he's able to finish his career off on a high note. I don't know if he's going to make it those 3 years. I just hope he doesn't go out looking sad like so many wide receivers do. Mike Evans has been such a consistent, good wide receiver over his career. I hope he succeeds on the 49ers. It just feels like it's not meant to be for me, though. I
think 3 years in this deal is kind of crazy. I don't know if he'll play more than 2. Mm-hmm. That was the shocker at me. I think the $20 million, the dollar amount's probably fine in my opinion when it comes to the breakdown of those things. But David, I agree. He didn't get 1,000 yards. He had to leave. So is he going to be a 49er next year? Who knows? So he's not terrorizing the Carolina Panthers anymore. That's all that matters. Guess who will be terrorizing our quarterbacks with paydays? Tua, turn the ball over. Getting a 1 year, $1.3 million deal. What the heck is this? Kirk Cousins got paid too much money. That's what this is.
They're going for the all lefty team. The Falcons are. They already got Michael Penix on the books. They had to secure Tua as well. They also have the only left-handed center in the NFL as well. So the Falcons just love left-handed guys. What can I say? They had to get Tua as the backup.
Braden, you're a left-footed kicker. It's your time, buddy.
Hey, I could get there. I can't actually think of any left-footed kickers currently in the league because you have to set up the long snapper and the holder on the other side, so it doesn't really work. But shoot, I'd be down. Get me on there.
All right. Yeah, Young Waku isn't there anymore, so they need Braden Wilkins, left-footed kicker. There we go. Braden, can you shank a couple for me? Can you shank a couple?
Sure.
Now we're doing point shaving.
Give me that first contract and I'm good to go.
There we go. There we go. 2-year, $10 million. That's all yours.
Sweet.
I'll kick it here. This one, Kenneth Walker III, and it's the third. Signs a 3-year, $43.5 million deal. And just when you thought Kansas City might have been out of it, they had a shiny new running back. That's a good thing to have, they say, on offense. But the Super Bowl MVP heading to Kansas City, who missed the playoffs for the first time in a decade. Incredible signing. I loved it. I love the value. I think this is great, especially with Pacheco not being in Kansas City anymore. We'll talk about the other Chief here in a minute, but no notes. I think great signing.
Yeah. I mean, having 2 Super Bowl MVPs on your team, that's great. They haven't had a truly great running back since Kareem Hunt's first 2 years, so that's huge.
Jamal Charles.
I saw this as almost essential for the Chiefs, especially with that the Patrick Mahomes injury at the end of the year. I think that was like week 17 or something. So he's not going to do a lot with his legs to start the year, is my opinion. Obviously, he was a huge presence on the ground for them last year. I think he actually had most of their explosive runs because Pacheco and Kareem Hunt just weren't doing it for him. The fact that they were able to get the best running back on the market, I think bolsters their chances for another Super Bowl.
I'll butt in here. Italy just hit a home run to go up 1-0.
That's huge. That's good.
We'll talk about that later when we get to the World Baseball Classic. Brent, tell me about your shiny new tight end.
Yeah, I really like this signing. This was one of my favorite Giant signings. Obviously, it has that rapport with Harbaugh already, but I see this as a cheaper alternative after losing Wandale. I think Isaiah Likely is going to be a big slot for our team. The way these wide receiver contracts have exploded, we just talked about Alec Pierce. When you can get a guy at $13 million a year, $14 million a year for a tight end, and he can catch the ball and he can be your number 2 weapon, I love it. Like I said, I think he'll serve as the big slot now. I view Theo Johnson as more of the inline guy. I think they'll run a lot of 2 tight end sets, but I really, really like this signing. And you get to pair him with a lot of the other Ravens signings the Giants made, and Jordan Stout, all-pro punter, Patrick Ricard. We know him, one of the best fullbacks in the league, and a few other depth signings as well. But really excited with the way the Giants are going this offseason.
Yeah, I think it was a great signing, a great person to be a tight end for the Giants. I think him and Theo Johnson line up incredibly well together. So I know I'm cutting out, guys. I'm doing my best over here.
You're good, actually. You're good.
Oh, wow! Look at me going. Hey, new internet. It trips the system a little bit. But speaking of the tight end market, talk to me about Travis Kelce, Braden.
Yeah. So this feels like the farewell tour for Travis Kelce. The 1-year deal says it all. He was already contemplating retirement going into this offseason. Maybe lost a step or two the past couple years. Still had a pretty decent year last year. He's back. He's back to hopefully have one last dance with Patrick Mahomes and presumably call it a career after this one. So Hall of Fame career for Travis Kelce coming to an end potentially, but he's back for one more.
I think Joe's frozen. I mean, I saw this coming. He's a guy that's never going to leave the Chiefs. I'll be honest with you. The fact that teams were even talking about it, I saw it in some Giants circles on Twitter as well.
Internet difficulties.
Can you hear us, Joe?
What's up, fellas? Yep. What happened
Awesome.
to me?
We're back.
You're good. You're good now. We're just finishing up Travis Kelce talk. We can move on to the next one.
Hey man, switched over to the hotspot. Just switch over to the hotspot. It's gonna get us the rest of the way. Put the team on its back. Kenny Gainwell. Let's talk about him.
Yeah, I can take
That's
this
my
one. I can take this one. Obviously, Braden is partial to him as well, being a former Eagle. But I really liked the way Kenny Gainwell contributed for the Steelers, especially at the end of last year. He was really their number one receiver, even though DK was on the team. I really like this signing for the Bucks. It hurts, Bucky's fantasy stock, because I think Kenny Gainwell is going to contribute a little bit more than Rachaad White and Sean Tucker. So I think it does hurt Bucky for fantasy, but overall for the Bucks, I think this is a great signing.
And he really does take over Rachaad White's role, and I think he does it better as a receiving back. So he's just going to be a better option for them than Rachaad White was.
I honestly can't believe. I understand that the Steelers went and got Rico Dowdle, but how they couldn't pony up the money for a 2-year, $14 million for Kenny Gainwell when he played so well last year and was so dynamic to that offense. I mean, I'm upset that he's a Tampa Bay Buccaneer now, especially on third downs. I think that's going to be rough for us, like Braden's talked about, and I've always loved watching Kenny Gainwell. So we'll see what's to be said about this backfield. It feels like Tampa Bay always has two guys that they lean on.
Yeah, for sure.
But any other notable top free agents waiting to be signed? There are a couple other contracts that we can chat through on here as well. Braden, one of the most fascinating that I liked actually came from the Eagles, getting Reek Woolen, the corner from the Seattle Seahawks. I think that was a crazy deal just for $15 million, and a guy that can honestly be an all-pro corner. But RIP Reed Blankenship.
Yeah. No, I like that. Reek was special his rookie year. He's been up and down since. I think he can be an absolute star. And when he's paired up with a guy he's been paired up with Devin Witherspoon for almost his entire career. And he's going to a guy of similar caliber, I think, in Quinion Mitchell. And then we got Cooper DeJean in the slot. So I think that's a great quarterback trio when they're all healthy and motivated and playing their best.
Yeah. Brent, one or two signings on here that have happened or are waiting to happen that's in your playbook.
Yeah, I'm honestly shocked that it's not a banner. I'll be honest with you. It did happen pretty recently, but Evan Neal, obviously like a huge signing for the Giants. Probably going to be an All-Pro this year, first team. I'll have to say, but he might give Jermaine Illuminor a run for his money. You know, we signed him back 3 years, $39 million. I can't even get through this without laughing. But yeah, that was the Evan Neal news was shocking to see this afternoon. You know, it's going to be a vet minimum contract, but I just thought I'd throw it out there because I thought it was funny. I think Joe's frozen again.
Great signing. You love him.
Yeah.
I'm right here.
Okay, there he is. He's here.
This is wild. Hey, you know, they just had to throw the playmakers in here.
I think you're good now.
Yep, we're back.
We're having fun. We're having a good time. I'm good.
Yep.
Yes.
Cool. One of the ones that kind of broke my heart a little bit I liked for the Detroit Lions was the Cade Mays signing, the 3-year, $40 million deal. I wish he stayed in Charlotte. We needed a center. We now still need a center, but I wish that guy nothing but the best in Detroit and blocking for Jared Goff. So go be great, bud.
Yeah, a few other ones that I really liked. I think the Commanders honestly had a really good free agency. They brought in a lot of guys at positions of need, highlighted by Odafe Owe, who was a huge pass rusher for both the Ravens and the Chargers. He checks in huge. Leo Chanel was a guy that I was targeting at linebacker. He was the linebacker 3 for the Chiefs just because they have really good guys over there with Nick Bolton. But the Commanders have been awesome. Amik Robertson, Chico Conquo. They signed Kaylavon Chason today, who had a huge year last year. Let's see, Nick Cross, who is one of the best safeties on the market. Tim Settle, another former Hokie defensive tackle. I just really liked what the Commanders did. I think they signed a lot of good players at positions of need. And honestly, a little jealous of some of their signings as well.
I want to go in a different direction with another divisional team. Both of these trades just happened an hour ago, hour and a half ago for the Cowboys. Osa Odigizua, I love him. He has been really good for the Cowboys. He was traded to the Niners, and Solomon Thomas was traded. So that's two defensive players that the Cowboys traded within the span of an hour of each other. That makes you question if they have maybe somebody planning to bring in, maybe like a Maxx Crosby, or if they're cleaning house and preparing for the future. So there's a couple different ways these trades could be read.
Yeah, I really think they just wanted more snaps for Kenny Clark and Quinnen Williams. Obviously, they gave up a lot for Quinnen Williams at the trade deadline last year. So I think that's more of what it was. But Osa's a really good player, and he was a captain for them. So the fact that they were able to recoup a third-round pick for him, I think, is good value.
Brent, I know I was in and out here, but did you give out my social yet, or do I need to quit again for you to do that?
You might have to quit again. I got like the first 5 numbers out, but I didn't get the rest.
5 digits, dude. They're gonna unlock it. You know, if they get it, I guess they get to be the host of the Sports Outlet Show now.
Yeah.
So if, you want to give it out to somebody, you think they'd be good for the job, better quality Wi-Fi. I'm all ears. But guys, a couple of the free agent signings that are still waiting to be signed. I know one of you put some notes in here for K1 of Kyler Murray asking about how many games is he going to play and where's he going to go. I'm still waiting for the Vikings to make this slam dunk signing.
They're going to do it.
They need to.
Yeah, it's been the buzz even before free agency started that Kyler was going to go there. I think they're just working out the contract details, which honestly he's still owed a lot of money by the Cardinals. So I thought this might have come in at more of a veteran minimum signing, kind of like Russ did a couple of years ago when he was let go by the Broncos. So it might just be some logistical issues there, but I think there's mutual interest on both sides. And Kevin O'Connell is the quarterback whisperer. So if I was Kyler, I'd want to go there too.
He wasn't. He also wasn't officially released until about midday today. So that could be why it's hasn't come as quickly as we thought.
Yeah, I think if the Vikings get that, they become a playoff contender again immediately. Throwing that ball to Justin Jefferson's a lot easier than some of the receivers he's had in his career, and he just needs a resurgence because he is a number 1 overall pick when healthy, and JJ McCarthy sucks. So.
Yes, he does.
That's about it. One name from each of you that you guys are looking to still be signed, and chat through that one a little bit.
Yeah, I'm looking at Jawan Jennings. He's still a free agent as well. I'm interested in his market. He is a little bit older. I think he's lower 30s. But he kind of took a while to break out for the 49ers. It wasn't until 2-3 years ago where he really started to get a lot of looks, a lot of opportunities. And I thought he made the most of them. He's a little bit of a head case, but I feel like a lot of these receivers are, I'm looking at Stephon Diggs' name on this list as well. He's obviously a head case. But
that's a different story.
Yeah. But I think Jawan Jennings is a good receiver. I'm interested in his market and interested in what he can get on the books for. As a Giants fan, I'd be interested in adding a guy like that if the price was right. I don't want to overspend by any means, but I think he's a good receiver.
Yeah, I'm looking at another receiver, former 49er. I think he had a little bit of a resurgence last year. Deebo Samuel, he's never going to be 2019 Deebo Samuel. That's never going to happen. But last year for the Commanders, he played 16 games. He was dependable, especially at the beginning of the year. You're not looking for a wide receiver 1 in Deebo Samuel anymore. You're looking for a dependable wide receiver 2. And I think you can get that with him. He had 72 catches, 99 targets. 727 yards and 5 touchdowns. He just turned 30 in January, so he is on the older side. But I think, especially on a mobile offense, he's not really the running back that he was in 2019 either, but he does have experience there and could be a mentor to those guys. I just think I was surprised at his productivity last year, and I would love to see a team try to capitalize on that this year.
2019 Deebo Samuel. What a great year to have him on my fantasy football team. I remember it like it was yesterday. What a fella. That concludes our free agency frenzy announcement. I mean, I'm sure we'll have things coming left, right, and center over the next couple weeks. Now that, signings officially happening, the legal tampering period is now over. So contracts can be signed quickly upon Adam Schefter announcement. So intrigued some of those big names that we're going to be talking about here on the next couple weeks. As we turn our attention, we just wrapped up the Winter Olympics, but the World Baseball Classic came immediately after. Walking through all 4 of the pools, what's at stake tonight, and everything is at stake tonight. If you haven't been keeping track, I just spoiled it for you because it's true, and you need to go turn, Sports Outlet Show This TV, volume up. On this TV, Italy versus Mexico, volume off, because all you need to know is Italy needs to hit a couple more dingers and we're good. But, a lot of things we can talk about here, but starting in Pool A, Canada and Puerto Rico is going to be the 2 moving on in Pool A. Canada and Puerto Rico are both watching this game as well because they play the runner-up. Canada will play the runner-up of Pool B, and Puerto Rico, the favorite of this conference that Canada really just snuck into and played really well, will get the winner of Pool B. So all eyes are on FS1 for them as well. But Canada taking the 1 seed, Puerto Rico taking the 2 here, rounded you out by Cuba, who lost today at 3:00 to Canada. They got kicked out. And then Panama and Colombia were sent home packing a couple of days ago too. But guys, let's talk about Pool B. I know this is going to take a majority of our time on the World Baseball Classic. Italy at 3-0. It's an underdog story. An espresso beats Miller Lite is what we saw last night. But USA at 3-1, Mexico at 2-1. Great Britain, they're gone since 1776. Brazil going 0-4. There's a lot on the line tonight. Guys, kind of walk me through the feelings of last night, losing to Italy on Mario Day. I feel like we were screwed from the beginning, having to play them on March 10th. That feels stupid. I feel like we never had a shot. So I think we need to talk about that too here in a little bit. But Braden, walk me through some of the notes on here between Italy, Mexico, the advancing scenarios, and the fact that Italy came in here as pups.
Yeah, I'm going to start with the U.S. and go through our sort of story in this World Baseball Classic so far. We've looked pretty sluggish in most of our games so far. It just do not look like the dominant team that we're supposed to be in this tournament. We got by against Great Britain. We got by against Mexico. But we looked like we underestimated Italy. The roster wasn't our top guys, maybe trying to get a rest before the play-ins or the playoffs. But we underestimated them, and they got us. They came out to an 8-0 lead. We almost brought it back. It was 8-6. Couldn't get it done. Pete Crow Armstrong did carry us in that comeback. Just wasn't enough. But for Italy, they've been a shocker. They were not supposed to be. It was supposed to be USA and Mexico all the way, moving out of this pool. But it's almost certain. I think it is certain that Italy is going through. Looking at tonight's game, if Italy wins, it is Italy and the United States going through. If Mexico wins with 4 or less runs, it is Mexico and Italy. If Mexico wins with 5 or more runs, it's Mexico and the United States. So if Italy scores 4 runs at any point, the United States are locks. So that's what we're in for here.
We've got one. We've got 1 zip at the bottom of the 3rd. And you got to remember Mexico being the home team in this scenario, right, in this game tonight. They only have 8 innings of offensive play, right? So what people think is likely is Mexico getting to 4 first. Mexico getting to 5 first. That is less likely than Italy just straight up winning. There's a very small scenario chance where Italy can get kicked out too. There's like a full line quota. The USA has the smallest little blocks, but it's Mexico winning in any fashion that doesn't start with a 5. USA is going to be sent packing on their home turf. And Scooball, you can go back to spring training and not worry about it, I guess, this time. But that I understand it's not his fault. I understand that the Detroit Tigers have a lot to play in with this as well. And these guys are in spring training. Skeens went out there and was absolute dynamite, but still at that pitching cutoff because these guys do have to think about their careers. They do have to think about the fact that opening day is in 2.5 weeks, right? But golly me, we needed Scooball to start against Italy and not against Britain. That was chalked from the start. It was chalked from the start, but we'll keep you updated here. It's 1-0 Italy right now. If the score holds, USA will be the 2 seed. But the fact that we could be sent home packing in our host country in the sport that we debatably have Team Canada in hockey, and this is rough that we're here. It's okay. We'll get through it. Baseball's around the corner. Switching over to Pool C, Japan. Guys, shocker here that Japan is moving on. They're going to win the whole thing probably. But Japan has their quarterfinal on Saturday. They're playing the Pool D runner-up, which that game's happening at 8 p.m. And then Korea at 2-2. Their quarterfinal game is on Friday at 6:30 versus the Pool D winner. And that was a crazy tiebreaker between Korea, the Chinese, and Australia. There was a 3-way tiebreaker that got broken by run differential because all 3 of them beat each other in a circle. Well, you could see that same thing tonight if Mexico wins of a 3-way tie. So a lot of things happening in Pool C. And then to round us out in Pool D, this is the first place match tonight. Nobody from this group can continue to advance. They've all been eliminated. Venezuela, Dominican Republic, they're both 3-0. Venezuela is 2.5-point pups to the Dominican Republic, and winner take all for Pool D in the 1 seed. So this should be a fun match tonight. Braden, who you got?
I don't know. The DR have been absolutely dominant. I think it's between them and Japan right now with the form that the United States are currently in. We might not even make the play-in or the playoffs, excuse me. So I think it's between the DR and Japan right now. So if we can get in and sort of fix the sluggishness that we've been seeing from the United States, we always have a shot. But the DR and Japan have not been sluggish in the slightest. They've been in top form.
There's a reason this game tonight, the over-under is 10.5. So that tells you all you need to know.
I will say I recognize a lot of the other names, a lot more names on the Dominican Republic roster than the Japanese roster. Obviously, a lot of those guys probably play overseas, but they're headlined by Shohei Ohtani. But the DR roster is crazy. Manny Machado, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I mean, these guys are all MLB players. So
they're stacked.
They might win it all. They might.
Yep. Well, thankfully we're not on that side of the bracket. So if we find a way to get through tonight, we'll see one of them in the final if we can get through. But that's all from the World Baseball Classic, the NFL free agency. We do still have a ton of conference championship play to catch you up on. Because it is March. The title of this is March, and it's the craziest March we've ever had in the sports world, and we haven't even talked about college basketball 50 minutes into the podcast, right? But we know why you're here. You've been patient. We appreciate that you've hung with us this long. Braden, what do you think's about to happen?
Dude, it's time. It's time for the best segment.
It's time for the blind top 10. And, was thinking about this one. VT staff helped me put this one together. I was not involved at all with topic or picks. So if you guys don't like something, you can blame the expert sources. I can't get blamed today. That's a first. But today we have, I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to rip it out. Blind top 10 board games.
I like.
We got the board games. You guys strategize, talk about who's going first. I'll get us set up here.
Yeah, I gotta rack my brain on this one. I'm assuming this one's gonna be a lot of the classics, which the board games I feel like I play nowadays really are not the classics. Like I don't play Monopoly much anymore. I don't play Sorry much, Shoots and Ladders, all that. So yeah, I gotta remember all these games, and I gotta remember how to play them. which is another important thing. But
It's
hopefully
crazy.
Brayden can carry us.
Monopoly and Sorry were the first two that came to my mind as well. I mean, Monopoly is obviously the standard, but Sorry's an interesting one for it to be second on both of our minds.
We'll see if
Sure.
those are on here. Who's going first?
I don't remember.
I think it's me this week.
All right, we'll give it to Brayden. Brayden, I'm sorry that you have to go first. I'm sorry.
Is it Sorry?
Sure.
Aren't there a couple versions of Sorry?
There are.
I have no clue. I know the one that has like the rolly things that you can use, but I've got the OG back there. It is Sorry, Brayden. You can go
right,
at any time.
Okay. All right. Okay. Sorry's a good one. Obviously, I just mentioned it came to both of our minds first. I think it's a good mix between skill and luck. Obviously, you have the dice roll, but you can decide which of your pieces you want to move at what time to sort of screw over your opponents. I think it's a fun one. I think, like you said, Brent, I'm having trouble racking my brain trying to think of other ones. I think it is top 5 for me. I'm going to put it at number 4.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Just says sorry.
You forgot the exclamation point.
Okay, you know what? I didn't know the grammar police were here.
I'm just counting on doing some ones I forgot that are going to be higher than it.
Brent is trying to get me in trouble. I don't appreciate it. Stop trying to get me in trouble.
Is that the next one?
Yes.
Wait,
I
what
promise
is
I'll
it?
stop.
It's
If
trouble.
It's trouble. I promise I'll stop. I'll stop.
Okay, like I vaguely like this.
Dude, it's the game with the dice in the middle and you pop it and then you have the 4 guys lined up and then you take them out with a 1 or a 6 and you go around and you can kill each other.
I played this game as a kid. I think I remember the dice thing in the middle that you press with it's like a dome, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, like the bubble craps table, like with the dice and the thing? It's exactly like that.
I know bubble craps. Gosh, I don't remember this one that well. I liked pressing the thing in the middle when I was a kid. I got a lot of fun out of that. But I don't remember it being like a super great game. I think I heard. Did Kelby say something, or am I hearing things?
Puppies.
It was the puppies. All right. I'm going 7.
Going 7? All right.
I think I think it's a good place for it. I think the bubble dice thing is the gimmick because otherwise I think it's the worst Sorry.
Yep. At number 3, you know, I don't have a joke for this one. It's Monopoly.
It's your classic. It is your classic, the first board game you think of. Depends on how you play with your family because I don't know the last time I finished a game of Monopoly. It's fun at the start, but it can last a long, long, long time. Definitely top 3 just on name value alone. I did like being the banker and passing around the money. I think it's gonna be number 3 for me.
Number 3.
I feel like a lot of people hate Monopoly. I love it. It's probably my favorite like classic board game, but I chose accounting for a living. So, you know, I like money. I like dealing. I like buying, you know. So I like Monopoly. It's a good game. It's long.
I will admit it took a different step. Monopoly did when they had the credit card things.
Yes.
And you stuck the credit cards in
That's
and
my
it transferred
favorite.
your money over. Dude,
That's
that
my
was just
favorite.
like that was straight up teaching kids how to use credit cards. Like,
Yep.
shout out them. But that was so much easier than all the paper money flying around everywhere. That was cool.
Mhm.
And then it made the noise like.
Yep. It's my favorite version. It's awesome.
Brent at number 4, maybe not a popular one, but you should know it. It's Candyland.
Yes, I do. I remember playing this. If I played right now, I might need a refresher on the rules. I'll be honest with you guys.
Go to Target and buy it.
We might need to. I don't remember it being like super fun. I'm gonna go 8.
I'm with you, Brent. There's no skill involved in Candyland. You just roll the dice and move your guy. So I feel like I definitely have played it. It's a classic. It's not my favorite.
The U.S. is halfway home. Italy in the top of the fourth just hit another home run. They're up 2-0.
Good.
If Italy gets to 4,
we're locked.
We're locked. Two more. At number 5, Braden, the captain goes down with a chip. You got Battleship.
Battleship is so fun. I love Battleship. This is one you can always get super competitive in. There's so much strategy. You can place your ships in like different arrangements. Battleship's a fun one. Battleship is a lot of fun. Is it going to be my 1 or is it going to be my 2?
It's up to you.
Ha ha ha.
Rhyme.
I'm going to put it at 1. I love Battleship.
I like it too. You sunk my battleship. I remember the commercials.
Classic.
So, it's a good game, though. I really like it.
You know, all these games just remind me of how grateful I am for my life.
Life. Game of life.
You guys catch it on too quick.
I do remember playing this one. I feel like I played this one probably like 7 years ago-ish. So I'm familiar with the game a little bit more than some of the other ones I've had so far. I remember getting those little pink and blue guys, putting them in your car, choosing your job, different versions. You could like choose your pet and stuff. So I like the Game of Life probably more than some people. I feel like it is a pretty basic game. And there is a lot of luck involved in it as well. Like if you get a good job, you're probably winning. But I do like it more than Candyland. I don't remember Trouble, as I mentioned, so I'm going to put it at 6.
I think that's a good spot for it. Like you mentioned, it is mostly luck-based. There are some choices to make, but I always had more fun playing that than Candyland for sure.
Yeah, there was always like, if you got the professional athlete or the doctor was always the highest, and the professional athlete made like $90,000.
Yeah, that's realistic.
Yeah.
Look at Tyler Linderbaum's contract.
At number 7, this could cause controversy, but according to Google, it is a board game. You have Connect 4.
Connect 4 is fun. It's all strategy. No luck involved there. It's just you versus the other person. I do like Connect 4. I think I'll put it at 5.
Okay. All right. For this next one, do you guys want a clue?
Hey, I like this game. I haven't played it in a long time, but I remember my old boy, Colonel Mustard. I'd always choose Colonel Mustard. I love the Game of Life. Lots of strategy involved in this one as well. A fun game. Did I say Game of Life?
You did.
I meant Clue. But yes, I always chose Colonel Mustard. That was my boy. I'm going to put it at number 2. I love it.
Wow.
I like it.
I never really played it growing up.
It's a good game. You should I'd play it again if you guys ever want to play. We have a down night. We're not doing much. I'd play. But I'm Colonel
Mustard. Sounds like we just need to get all these games and play them in this order next time we're together. There you go.
Okay.
Cool.
Although we're going to have to skip Monopoly.
Yeah, probably.
That'll take years. At number 9, if you're not playing chess, you're playing
Checkers.
Good job. 9 or 10, Braden. You could mess this list up real quick.
Nah, it's gonna be 10. Checkers is fun when you're a little kid. I don't think there's too much to it, if I'm being honest.
This one is one of my personal favorites at 9. And I know it's not very popular, but it was just fun because it was interactive and you got to catch the mouse.
Dude,
I do like Mousetrap.
I never played Mousetrap, but it always looked so fun.
What? Dude, if you land on the spot, you get to like do the little pulley. It goes do, it jumps, and then boom. And then the person's just sitting on your trap, and that's embarrassing.
Yeah, it looks fun. I wish I would have had a chance to play it. Maybe in the future.
Mousetrap is like one of those games like Trouble for me. Like I remember the interactiveness of it, like the bubble on Trouble. I remember the mousetrap coming down and catching the mouse with the cheese. It was a lot of fun as a little kid. I don't know if I'd still like it now, but might have to play it again just to see.
There you go. We'll have to see. I'm sure when you involve beer and whiskey, it makes it a little easier. Here, let me help you guys out. You were backwards. There you go. Now you're your names again. But thanks for hanging out with us here on Top 10. We understand if you need to go now and watch the World Baseball Classic, because that's totally what you're doing if you only stood around for Top 10. Thanks for hanging out here with us. We've got some college basketball news still for you, so make sure you stick around for that as well. And we just lost 50% of our viewers, guys. Maybe we need to do Top 10 at the end and just bite the bullet.
And you can't come in later in the podcast. You have to go start to finish.
Stick it out.
Yeah, it's like a loyalty program.
Yep.
There you go. Think of those ideas. But let's talk through this here, guys. College Basketball Conference Championships real quick so everybody can go finish the World Baseball Classic. Talking about the current ones really fast of the conference champions, you have the Queens that won the Atlantic Sun as the 3 seed, High Point, the Panthers winning the Big South, Hofstra upsetting in the Coastal at number 3, Wright State winning the Horizon, Siena winning the MAAC, that's not MAC. Number 6, Northern Illinois beginning their Cinderella story at the Missouri Valley. Long Island, not the Ice-T, the actual school, winning the Northeast Conference. Ohio Valley going to the Tennessee State Tigers, who dominated all year. Furman winning the Southern as a 6 seed. North Dakota State didn't know they were in the Summit for basketball, but the Bison are taking home number 1 there in the Summit League. Number 1 in the Sun Belt, Troy. But before we talk about Troy, can we talk about the fact that Georgia Southern won 5 games in 5 days in that gauntlet and just fell short of winning the final?
That's wild. Do you remember their seed?
They were the 10 seed out of 14 that make it.
That's crazy. Wild. That good run. But
so,
hey, you're not in it.
Props to Gata for getting that far, but Troy is going to be the Sun Belt 1 seed. And then Gonzaga made the West Coast Championship for the 29th year in a row. I was reading, because they've been a 1 or 2 seed every time, and they instantly make the semis. Gonzaga, it's time to join a different conference in basketball, guys. You're there.
Is that a true stat, 29 in a row?
29 years in a row they've been represented in the West Coast. Well, you got to think it's them and St. Mary's, besides Santa Clara getting in there every now and again.
But St. Mary's is a decent program. Like,
yep.
I mean, they're not terrible, but
they just
beat
in the final every year.
You're right. They need to join
Sometimes
a big
they beat
program.
Them. So, that's all I can really say. We have each one of your conference championships here real quick to wind us out, so make sure you stick around to learn who's going to win, including the most important game of the season. Brent, take me to the American East.
Yeah, the American East tips off March 14th, which is Saturday at 11 a.m. Going to be a little bit quick in my breakdown here. We got a lot to get through. But the UMBC Retrievers take on the Vermont Catamounts. Two of the America East's best programs meet for that automatic bid. UMBC leans on quick scoring guard Jalakai King, I might have butchered that name, who can heat up from deep and carry the offense. Vermont counters with sharpshooter TJ Hurley, one of the America East's most reliable scorers. The Catamounts' experience in tight March games gives them the edge. I feel like Vermont's been in it a few of these past years here. My prediction is Vermont 71, UMBC 66. So I'm sorry for UVA, but they don't get to play UMBC like a few years ago. I know they love playing them.
I think it's so funny, like how relevant program teams are by like winning a big game, not just being the 16th seed and being the first team to ever do it against Virginia, but the fact is just like UMBC now I think about is just every year I want them to make the tournament just because they did that.
There's always one. St. Peter's and Doug. I mean, that was a wild story a couple years ago.
Doug Eater. Jack Golecki with Oakland.
Yeah. Some of these small teams, they have Cinderella stories. We root for them all the way to the end. So I'm hoping for another one this year.
There we go. Braden, take me over to the American.
Yeah, the American. The first round of the tournament is going on as we speak. The number 1 and number 2 seeds in this tournament are South Florida and Wichita State. But I have neither of them going on to win it. I have Tulsa, the number 3 seed, going on to make a run, and the Golden Hurricane make the tournament for the first time in a decade. Last time was 2016. It's their year.
Braden, everybody in Tulsa just rejoiced that you didn't add an S at the end of that. They applaud you. You are now an Oklahomian. Congratulations. There you go. In the ACC championship, do I have to talk about it? Second round today, Duke holds the number 1 seed, number 2 at UVA. Obviously, a lot to be thought over here. Florida State, Cal is at halftime. Louisville avoided the upset against SMU earlier, and then Wake and Clemson later tonight. Guys, I'll be brief with it. I've watched more ACC basketball than I pleased to this season. But number 1, Duke, not only just winning the ACC championship, I don't know if anybody's going to beat them in the tournament. This team is disgusting. So I don't think this is a hard decision. And the team that's number 2, UVA, a couple weeks ago, they just beat by 20. So do with that what you will. Take me to the Atlantic 10.
Yeah, I think to your point, Joe, I think what we're going to see this year is a lot of the top teams are going to be really dominant. This year, unlike a lot of the other ones, like I feel like any of these top 4 teams could have been the number 1 overall seed the past 5 years in a row. That's my honest opinion on it. Michigan has been really hot. I know Houston has been really hot as well. So there's just it's going to be fun to watch. I don't know if we'll get a lot of the Cinderella stories we talked about, but it definitely seems concentrated at the top. Back to the Atlantic 10. They do tip off Sunday at 1 p.m. It's the St. Louis Billikens versus the VCU Rams, obviously close to home, being in Winchester. And they're from Richmond, just a 2-hour drive. But St. Louis brings efficient offense led by elite shooter Gibson Jimerson. It's a phenomenal name, by the way. While VCU relies on its trademark pressure defense and versatile guard Max Shulga. If the Rams force turnovers and speed the game up, it tilts their way. My prediction, gotta ride with the home team, VCU 70, St. Louis 65.
Get the VCU Rams taking it all the way in the A10. That's in Pittsburgh, greatest city on the world, by the way. So, just have to keep running that through. Braden, take me over to the Big East with a 1 and 2 seed that are destined to meet each other.
Absolutely. So the Big East has 3 teams that are already a lock for the tournament. It's St. John's, the 1 seed, UConn, the 2 seed, and Villanova, the 3 seed. But UConn is just a different animal. They won both games against Villanova, the 3 seed, and just blew out St. John's 72-40 just under 3 weeks ago. So I think it's going to be easy. I think UConn takes this, no doubt about it.
Braden, it's because they didn't score in the final 17 minutes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that St. John's UConn game, I'm pretty sure that was one of my best bets, and then I had St. John's was going to win. But hey, that was in the past. That was in the past, guys. It's okay.
Brent, I wasn't gonna bring it up because it didn't need to be, because you're a sharpshooter and sometimes you bowl a 0. It's okay.
You could have bet
okay.
Bam Adebayo under PRA yesterday. I saw some slips with that, so you're good.
I saw a slip that had him 75 plus, and that's just bull, because the dude put $100 on it for plus 80,000. It was dumb. Take me over. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I know the over on his points hit in the first quarter, so if you had that bet, you were smooth sailing for the rest of the game.
Yep. Big Sky Championship. The 1 and 2 seeds have already been knocked out. We do have a championship here for the Big Sky between the Montana Grizzlies and the Idaho Vandals. And guys, they're calling this Starch Madness over here in the Big Sky Championship. And boy, what a showdown we have tonight at 11:30 p.m. All of you better be watching. That is called Sickos Committee. That be watching the Madness of March. But, I thought about this game, right? Didn't even look at the spread. I looked at the records, 18-15 for Montana, 20-14 for Idaho. But if you're going to say starch madness, you have to give me the Idaho potatoes with Idaho Vandals winning this one. A Cinderella story at number 7. If it's starch madness, then give me the Spuds. Is that simple?
Let's go.
Send me to one that doesn't matter nearly as much as starch madness.
Yeah, the Big Ten championship. This will be March 15th at 3:30, which is Sunday. Michigan obviously is the favorite here. Michigan's offense flows through dynamic guard Doug McDaniel, who thrives attacking the lane. Another huge competition in the Big Ten championship is going to be Nebraska potentially. Their guy is Casey Tominaga, obviously capable of the 3-point as well, but a talent advantage favors the Wolverines. They're one of those top 4 teams, as I mentioned. I think Michigan gets it done.
Brent, you mentioned talking about 1 seeds and, Michigan having that loss to Duke earlier this year, right, already. But Michigan, between Michigan, Duke, Florida, Arizona, maybe Houston, right, you just rounded out your top 4. And any single one of them, I know the KenPom metrics and they have to have this and this to be the champion of the last 50 years. All 4 of those teams are going to fit into that metric. And by golly day, the Big Ten is going to be a fun championship to watch, especially with Michigan State sniffing around the corner.
Tom Izzo.
Braden, before you talk about the Big 12 championship, can we talk about how destroyed Arizona State got today?
Yeah.
It was by about 50 points.
It's fine.
Take it away.
Yeah, we're talking about the better school in Arizona by far. Arizona is the 1 seed in this conference. Houston is the 2 seed in this conference. There's a lot of good teams in this conference, by the way. BYU, Kansas, Iowa State should all be tournament teams as well. But Arizona, goodness gracious, they're going to be a 1 seed in the tournament. Their only 2 losses on the season came in early February against Kansas and Texas Tech back-to-back. They've been completely dominant in their 6 games since then. They beat Houston comfortably, BYU comfortably. They dominated Kansas and Iowa State. So this team is really, really good and one of the favorites, if not the favorite, to win the whole dang thing. So they're winning the Big 12.
Yeah, I mean, just names that come to mind immediately when you think about the Arizona Wildcats, like Koa Pete is an absolute dog. He's going to be a top 10 draft pick in the lottery, right? So intriguing with the Wildcats. They have that star dynamic play all around the hoop. So excited for that one. But can I go from Big Sky to Big West? Come on. Group of 5 representation makes March Madness how glorious it is. First rounds tonight, the UC Irvine Anteaters. And guys, I'm proud of myself when I do these things like with Idaho, with UC Irvine. We'll talk about Grand Canyon later. I knew all their mascots off the rip. You want to know why, Braden? Because they've all played a big part in March Madness before. That is exactly why. Because the Big West, did you guys know Hawaii is a part of this conference?
Not.
I didn't till yesterday, but they're the 2 seed. UC Irvine's the 1 seed. This championship will be Saturday at 10 p.m. But the Anteaters just dominate play every year in this conference. They're an elite 3-point shooting team. Jurian Dixon has been incredible. Kyle Evans, the forward on the boards. I don't think it's going to be close. I have the Anteaters munching their way into March Madness. Take me to the CUSA.
Yeah, the CUSA, my favorite conference in all of college basketball. Hey, they're headlined by the Liberty Flames. We've seen them a time or two in this March Madness tournament. They can make some noise. Ultimately, I think they are going to get it done. They play disciplined, efficient basketball behind shooter Caden Metheny. And I think they get it done in this thing. I got Liberty going all the way.
You almost got to cheer for the Virginia schools. I like it.
Oh, I'm rooting for all of them.
There you go.
Except UVA.
No, you're not. I was about to say, what? I was about to kick him out of here. Okay, we joke about Starch Madness, the Big West, the CUSA. Braden, let's use these brains here. Give me some mathematics. I got to know who's winning the Ivy League.
Yeah, usually you think of Princeton in the past recent couple years for them in the March Madness tournament, but they had a rough year. So the tournament right now in the Ivy League, there's only 4 teams. It's Yale taking on Cornell, and then Harvard taking on Penn, I believe. I'll have to double check that. But yeah, I have Yale going all the way here. They played Harvard twice so far this season, and they played them close, and they did lose to Cornell their first round matchup recently. So this tournament could be anybody's game, but I think Yale just has a good enough team to be able to get it done and compete in the tourney.
Braden, I got to talk to you about your pick.
Okay.
So we all know direct correlation in the Ivy League from basketball play is acceptance rate of the college students, right? We know that for a fact. That is, destined of time. There was Adam and Eve, and then there was Harvard through Cornell acceptance rates, right? That is truth. So Cornell, 6 to 8% people get in there. Dude, that's not an Ivy League. Come on. I know I just offended an entire population of people by saying that. You got Penn. They're at 5.4%. Okay, getting better. Yale at 3.7% in its lowest years. But Braden, nobody does it better than Harvard at 3.5. Give me the Crimson. And that is fact.
No chance. Yale. I'm riding with Braden.
Care to make – I can't say that out loud. I would love to say care to make it interesting, but that's a direct NCAA compliance violation. So how about whoever wins gets a high five?
Nice.
Deal.
Yes.
Okay.
Better make it hard.
What? Return of the Maxx. Let's ride over to this after whatever just happened on the pod. People talk about the MAC in all its glory. They talk about Tuesday nights on football. Brent said a post about it today in the Twitter group chat, right? But what they don't talk about is Miami, Ohio at 31-0. The Red Hawks have been dominant through Maxx. They're 18-0 in play, and right behind them at number 2 is the Akron Zips at 17-1. Now, I fully expect the Zips and the Red Hawks to face down on a MAC showdown with everything on the line Saturday night at 8 p.m. And guys, I expect the Red Hawks to lose their first game of the year.
No.
It ain't going to be 31-0 because the Zips got something to say about it. Give me Akron in an upset over Miami, Ohio with the Red Hawks. And Miami, Ohio misses March Madness.
No, they're in no matter what. Full stop.
They better be.
You can't have a perfect regular season and not be in. I don't care how bad their schedule was. You can't. They have to be in.
Wichita State, they went 35-0 that one year, Bray. They were a 1 seed, lost in the second round to Memphis.
Don't care.
All right, then take me to the MEAC. Come on, Brent.
That's me.
If we don't care about the MAC.
Hey, there's no better conference than the MEAC. I lied to you guys. MEAC is the best. We got the Howard Bisons leading us off. I feel like they're in a few play-in games in the tournament here usually is where I've been seeing them. Morgan State as well. I feel like I've seen them a time or two. But Howard's offense runs through elite playmaker Elijah Hawkins. He controls pace, racks up assists. He's leading on the team there. I gotta say, I think Howard gets it done once again. I'm going with Howard.
A 16 seed we see year after year after year, it feels like, in the MEAC.
Yeah,
love it.
16 seed play-in.
Italy is up 3-0, top of the 5th, runners on first and second. 1 out.
Come on.
We need
boys.
one more. We need one more. I'll rephrase. We need one more as long as it doesn't go to extra innings, and then things get really wonky.
I don't want to think about that. I don't want to think about that.
Let's get to 4 and go from there. Braden, take me out west.
Yeah, so the championship for this game is on Saturday at 6 p.m. Your first round starts tonight. You got the 1 seed Utah State and the 2 seed San Diego State. But I'm riding with number 3, Grand Canyon. They did it last year. That's when most people realized, 1, that the university existed, and 2, that it wasn't an entirely online school. So they're going to go back. They're going to do it again, and they're going to be dancing.
Grand Canyon, baby.
Dude, if we get the Antelopes and the Anteaters in the same bracket, watch out, Giannis.
It's over.
Watch out, Giannis. Take me over to the Patriot League, the Boston University Terriers versus the Lehigh Mountain Hawks, a team we see time and time again. Lehigh, I just think they're going to finish business tonight. This game is literally happening right now. So hold on, let me get you a score update. I got you. Boston U versus Lehigh score.
Boston's good
Lehigh's
at hockey.
up 44. They're up 44-34. We're going to stick with our prediction. We're not going to flip it. Give me the Mountain Hawks to continue dominant play in the Patriot League.
Boston's a hockey school, man. Hockey school.
Sorry, man. Hey, I guess we can turn it over to this conference.
Yeah, this conference, not quite as good as the other ones I've had so far. The Meek and the CUSA, the CUSA, but probably the most tournament teams out of all of the conferences. It's going to be the SEC. You got Florida, you got Alabama, Arkansas with Coach Cal, Vanderbilt, Tennessee, Texas A&M, Georgia, Missouri, Kentucky, Texas, Oklahoma, and Auburn. Are they going to make it as well?
Get them out.
I know that's been a big point of contention. Auburn, obviously, that they have the 7-11 conference record. Haven't been doing too hot lately either. I'm not predicting them to win the SEC tournament. Don't get me wrong, but definitely a talking point.
We're gonna let a team that's 17-15, and if they lose tomorrow, they'll be 17-16. We're gonna let a team like that into March Madness.
Absolutely not. I won't stand for it.
I think in Joe Lunardi's last bracketology, I think they were top of the first 4 out.
Yeah, and a couple bubble teams have been losing, so
yep,
they might just sneak in.
Yeah, I just feel like, and this isn't to bump up Virginia Tech at all. Don't get me wrong. I don't think Virginia Tech is a tournament team, but when you look at like other conferences, I feel like it's not entirely fair for like the ACC, the Big 10, Big 12, all those big conferences that have really good basketball schools. I feel like the SEC here recently has just gotten a ton of teams in. But anyways, back to the tournament. The Florida Gators are the top of the SEC. They're another one of those schools where obviously they won last year, right? I'm not getting that confused. They won last year.
You are correct.
Yep.
Yes.
Won it all.
They won last year. They're the current 4 seed, and I think they could do it again. They have an outstanding team headlined by Walter Clayton Jr., one of the best players in the nation. He's just incredible night in and night out. But don't count out Alabama either. They're a very, very high-scoring team. I feel like they have been for like years now. They're constantly putting up 80, 90 points. They can hit threes from anywhere, and that's headlined by Mark Sears, who is an outstanding basketball player as well. At the end of the day, I think these top 4 seeds are a head above the rest, and Florida is in that, and Florida's going to win the SEC tournament. That's just my gut.
They had one of the craziest spin cycles from the start of the season, and they have just had a full 360 since their first couple games, and
They've been
just railing off an incredible amount of wins. This Gators team, I talked about it earlier, Duke, Michigan, Florida, throw Alabama in the conversation too, Houston, Arizona. One of those teams is cutting down the nets. Like, it's happening. I can't think of too many off the top of my brain besides them. So definitely intriguing. But Brent, even if the Gators don't win this SEC championship, they will see themselves as a 1 seed on Sunday.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely.
But Braden, talk to me about the Southland. Sounds like we have a winner.
We do. This conference was decided. The game went final about an hour and a half ago, and it's going to be the Cowboys of McNeese. They won 76-59. Javon Garcia dropped 31 points in this game, helped them rout. And guys, this is going to be McNeese's third straight tournament appearance. In 2024, they lost in the first round. Last year, they beat number 4 Purdue before losing to Clemson 69-67 in the second round. We're just gonna take a moment to appreciate that. Not completely over, but we're gonna celebrate. But yeah, McNeese is going to advance for the third straight year. And if we're following the trend, they lost in the first round, they won in the first round. Is McNeese a Sweet 16 team?
Yes.
Could be fun. Absolutely. Because in that game against Clemson, like I said, it was 69-67. They were competing in that game, and I think they were up for quite a bit before Clemson came back, if I remember correctly.
That was a 12-5 seed, if I remember correctly, too. I feel like that those 12-5 games, you got to watch out because that 12 seed is winning a lot of the time in recent history.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, McNeese, Sweet 16 bound. You heard it here first.
Wow, what a play. What about the SWAC? I got us. Quarterfinals tonight, Bethune-Cookman holds the number 1 seed. Number 2, Florida A&M. You know, I'm not a big picking the 1 and 2 guy, but I remember the Southern Jaguars. They're gritty. They play great defense. They can hit a 3-ball in your face when they need it. Give me a little bit of an upset and where anything can happen in the SWAC. Give me the Southern Jaguars advancing to be in a play-in game as a 16 seed. Brent, round us out with the whack.
Yeah, did you guys see the story on this one?
No, not.
Utah Valley. A little drama off the court. Braden, do you have an update before I get into it?
It's just 5-0 now. It's just 5-0.
It was up 5-0. So
that's
even
raps.
if Mexico wins.
Everyone say thank you to Aaron Nola.
We don't deserve it.
Thank you to Aaron Nola, Phillies legend. Let's go.
Hey.
We don't deserve to be here, but we're here.
DR is going to kill us now.
Yeah, they are. Tell me about the.
We don't have to. No. We play Canada. We play Canada if we win.
We own them. We own them.
Yeah.
Well, they're becoming the 51st state as we speak, so.
Brent, round us out here.
Guys, Utah Valley. They've hit a little bit of drama here recently. I'm surprised you guys haven't seen this. The Wolverines, they're leaving the Western Athletic Conference for the Big West Conference. I believe that's next year. They recently had to place about $1 million in escrow as part of an exit fee dispute with the WAC. For a moment, the conference even threatened to keep them out of the tournament before the payment was confirmed. It was confirmed yesterday. They're eligible.
Great work on wire transferring, people.
They got it done. You know, got a little hairy there at first. Kind of like this Ravens trade with Maxx Crosby, you know, got a little hairy.
I don't think those are on the same level.
They paid their dues. They're eligible. So here's what it's going to come down to. On the court, Utah Valley leans on versatile star Trey Woodbury, who can score from all 3 levels and fill the stat sheet. And you know what? After all this controversy, we got to punch them through. They're punching their ticket to the March Madness tournament. Utah Valley, baby.
This is March.
Let's go.
Let's go. Utah Valley upsetting Duke. You saw it here from Brent first. He just said it.
It's happening.
In all seriousness, everybody go take a shot of espresso. Italy, thank you. You may have smacked us last night, but you put us right back in it. So that's pretty cool. But World Baseball Classic still on tonight. Make sure you tune in for the Dominican Republic and Venezuela. That should be a great game. Quarterfinals starting this weekend, Friday and Saturday. A lot to watch here in college basketball conference championships, as Selection Sunday for both the men and women is on Sunday, as this upcoming Sunday as well, which the Big Ten championship year after year, that 3:30 tip takes you right up to that selection show as well on CBS. So should be exciting. We have all this going on, a ton of sports knowledge, a ton of sports this week. Free agency still coming left and right. We have all your coverage here on the Sports Outlet Show. Appreciate y'all hanging with us at the technical difficulties this week as we move into the new Wagner home over here. But we'll see you next week, same time, same place here on Wednesday night. We'll be back with Blind Top 10, but maybe the loyalty program will have to come in place. Joe Wagner, Brent Allegra, Braden Wilkins here on YouTube Live from the Sports Outlet Show. We'll see you next time, and we'll pick every match of March Madness. Good night.